Anybody who has watched Guiding Light for the last 18 years knows who Roger and Holly are. They're probably daytime's most controversial and tumultuous couple. They've been through things that nobody should ever have to go through in a lifetime, and yet they've survived. And we're going to talk today to Maureen Garrett and Michael Zaslow, and we're going to find out how they feel about this incredible love affair that's gone on now for almost 2 decades.
What's always interested me about the two characters is, do you think that they always loved each other in spite of everything?
Absolutely, yeah.
It was the depth of relationship that they just never found anywhere else, and I think
But
that
they
kept
also,
drawing them back.
They were just so damaged, you know. I mean, they not only were they young, but they came, at least speaking for Roger, I don't know what your personal history that you know so much, you know, because when you're acting, you know, the idea is you're not sharing with your mate the things that you're using. But I know from my standpoint, I can say that Roger's just was such a damaged soul, was so lacking in really self-knowledge and philosophy of life and so on, and he so easily hurt, and would lash out and would protect himself in all the wrong ways, and would never act in his own true self-interest. You know, always screwed things up. The more important it was to him, the more he would screw it up, like a lot of people in society, which, I mean, I think that there's an easy identification for people with him because we all have had that, and I certainly have. I know it, you know.
And what about Holly?
Holly was just so innocent. I think she didn't have any of the tools to know how to deal with someone who had such rage in him. So she would run to her mother and do just self-breeding, close off, instead of finding a way to deal with him. So it was inexperience. And then she became battered and ran.
Do you think what attracted her to Roger was very much like Desdemona attracted to Othello? You know, that sort of
dark power. I often played that was like her dark side. You know, Ed was the good man, and the draw to Roger was the dark side that she didn't know very well and didn't want to explore, but was always compelling.
What I think of as the turning point, of course, and I'm sure you'll agree, is when Roger almost died, and isn't that when you sort of realize what life would be like without him in there?
Yeah. And the concern for his condition. I mean, it was just pure love. I care about you, want to take care of you.
nurturer.
Yes.
And you saved him. There was the reversal. I mean, there was the woman as the savior. Finally, Holly had no longer being the woman who was always rescued. There she was, the rescuer. Maybe that. Do you think that sort of freed you to express your love finally, or to recognize it?
Yes, it was very much a lion with her cub, and then suddenly she could, and with no one else in the town standing by him, it was up to her to take care of him and to pull him through.
Where do you see Roger and Holly going from here? Both of you.
Take it away, Maureen.
It's so not up to us. I mean,
Well, just where would you like to see it go? How about that? All right, you're the writers. Where will Holly and Roger, where will we see them over the next 5 years, let's say?
Well, I think they have to always be growing and changing and adapting to. I mean, I would love to see them as a couple because it feels like it's been held away from us for so long that now it's so great to be exploring, and it's like, let us go further with this. Let us get through the rough times instead of always breaking characters up when they. I'd like to see them ride through the rough times and to a real deep understanding of each other.
What I think is so funny is that, I mean, there's this pretended wisdom that when couples get together, that's the end of the drama, that's the end of the interest. I mean, do we really believe that in society, that when couples get together, that everything is smooth from then on? It's just, what do you want for breakfast, what do you want for lunch, and what do you want for dinner? I mean, it's silly. I mean, there's so many issues that come up, particularly when you have children, but even without that, in terms of your own personal growth and how it conflicts, perhaps how something that I'm developing for myself will conflict with my mate, and vice versa, and it brings up old problems from the past, and you know, how to settle them and how to learn to communicate. It's a never-ending process, and it can be very interesting.
Yeah, the lessons of commitment. Once you've made that commitment, and then how you keep
and
it exciting
your
and keep
fantasy
learning
life
and growing.
all the
Yeah.
rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the fans want to see you together. I think that this has been a long time coming, and I think they want their satisfaction.
It takes a lot of talent to write that kind of stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of not only talent. I shouldn't say talent, but it takes a real commitment to looking inside yourself as a writer, to explore that. You know, rather than take the easy thing. Okay, then they'll get kidnapped, and then his twin will come, and he'll be even more evil than Roger. And what would happen if, to really kind of dig a little deeper and with a little less grandiose, and find out, closer to your life. That's
Right. And it can't be
tricky.
another time of Holly reaching the last straw and this is it, and then she shuns him and turns away. If she's already had the last straws in this relationship, they've all been used up. So now it's like, what do we have left, and where do we go from here?
How would you feel about being parents again?
That's the thing. I was just thinking about that. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I mean, it is something that you could say, well, and
Why
then
not? Yeah.
then the question of, well, we could try, and then and then whether or not we were successful, and
Or it could just happen. And
Or it could happen.
The living
Yeah.
we least expect.
and my God, oh Lord, how do you feel about that?
Oh,
That kind
right.
of thing, yeah. It could be very interesting.
It's,
Many different ways that you could go with that issue.
can you imagine being on the guiding light without each other?
God, no.
It's in my contract.
Right. No, it's been the center of it for me.
Yeah, me too. We love each other.